I gotcha.
Yeah, you got me?
I'm focused.
Yeah, focused. Okay.
Yep.
Focus? You sure?
Mhm.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Down or jumping off. We're not quite sure what. So it is my honor to present to you Balko the Tribute. Not to be confused with Balko, the Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative, and the performance enhancing drug scandal. Something remarkably different. So Mr. Balko comes to us from the glorious regional group of IALLT, or WALT. Region here. And IALLT is an extraordinary bunch. I was doing a little bit of research on Mr. Balko's past life with IALLT. And, you know, they're hard, they're tough, they're hard scrabble in the Midwest. My understanding was that Ron had been the treasurer of IALLT in a previous life from the years 1995 to 2000. And I was corrected by Marlene, who said, oh, no, 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 in IALLT we do this differently. You have a CAO in IALLT, which means that person is the president, the treasurer, and the secretary all in one. So I guess that makes committee meetings and board meetings a whole lot easier. But
Worked for me. I thought it was
I'm
fine.
sure it worked for you, yeah. So not only did he do that, but he did it for 5 years, which is pretty gosh darn extraordinary. So Mr. Balko, because we're being very formal tonight, hails from Concordia College. And I did, yeah.
Go Cobbers!
Yeah, go Cobbers,
Go
indeed.
Cobbers,
Yeah.
yes.
And you know, who'd have thought that there'd be a college that would have a corn cob as its mascot? I have never truly seen it all.
Yeah.
Concordia. I did a little bit of research on what to do in Concordia and came to find out that Concordia is in Moorhead, but Moorhead was just not, you know, not sexy enough, I guess. So they had to join their Convention and Visitors Bureau with Fargo, which indeed is that Fargo. I was really happy to know that the wood chipper has its own Facebook page.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And you can have your picture taken with it. Very exciting. So the next page, please. We've also discovered something about Mr. Balko that, okay, he lives in Minnesota, he flies out of North Dakota, but he is a rocking Packers fan.
Absolutely.
Go Pack!
Go Pack!
So much so,
Sorry.
yeah, that it informs most of his conference attire. In fact, all of his conference attire. And in fact, in honor of this, I ordered for myself on eBay.
I got that shirt.
Are you missing
And we stole from his closet.
I'm sure. Yes, you will.
Thousands of rayons gave their life for this one. So, ever the snazzy dresser, ever the Packers fan, our Mr. Balko leads the fashion, the helm of the IALLT fashion lore. And there you have him with the giant corn cob, which I think was quite a find.
That was great. That was perfect. Couldn't ask for more.
I tell you, couldn't ask for more. So those are his IALLT years. And then we have his IALLT years, which is actually why we're here to celebrate him this evening. Mr. Balko has been the treasurer of IALLT from 2003 to 2011. Although he did correct me and say that while I get to go off the board jumping this evening, Mr. Balko will not officially be going off the board until, quote, until the last damn charge from this conference clears. You heard it here. Mr. Balko has been an esteemed member of our community, and we love him so. And if you've come to know him, you know that he takes a ribbing and keeps on ticking. When we were in the process of creating the new website, we needed, what's it called, right, a 404 page? A 404 page. When we hit lots of pages in error, we made there were lots of dead ends and whatever, but we needed something to keep our spirits up as we kept trying to develop this site. So I present to you our, I'm sorry you can't get there from here page. Balko says no.
I never
developers in
found it
Croatia
either.
came to love him dearly for this. That was during my presidency, and that was the typical look he would give me whenever he had his checkbook in hand. It was great. In Atlanta.
That was Atlanta, yeah.
That was, yeah.
6 feet under.
Yeah, paying
got it.
another one of those bills.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mr. Balko was ever so present in IALLT in terms of our web presence, but he's also got another web presence, and those of you who know, who are on Twitter, know that there's a Twitter feed, Things Balko Says. So if you can't read it from the back of the room, he says things like, pirouette, that's one of my specialties. Everything will be fine, I hope. That's always good to hear from your treasurer. One last time, no, in capital letters. And it's just my animal magnetism, what can I say? But my personal favorite, it's the Minnesota accent, it drives them wild.
I never said that.
Did say it. We have many reporters in the field at this moment writing down your every utterance. And this has about 20 people following. It is a closed site. We respect his privacy, but I can't tell you the number of people that have asked to follow it just because. One of the joys of being on the board with Ron and being on the board of IALLT is the monthly conference call. I heard that. And so the board will meet on sometimes virtually, sometimes on Skype, sometimes on the telephone, once a month. Sometimes for an hour, sometimes for much, much longer. And we would do this about 10 months out of the year. So I did the math wrong.
Yeah.
Ready for this? Okay. So you've been at this for 8 years?
Yeah.
Let's say 10 months. 90 minutes.
Yeah.
7,200 minutes you will never get back.
Oh, God, that's depressing.
But they were memorable nonetheless. And so we have for you a brief little interview. I was unable to get to everybody, probably because I was laughing too hard by the time I got to the end of this. But if we could go to the next slide. These are IALLT conference calls.
My fondest memories of Ron Balko during conference calls are, no.
Hello. Every time when I was initiating the call, I learned not to call him first. I would call him last. No. What? Because he inevitably would get distracted. Coming back to the conversation. What? Wait, you need me? What? Somebody said my name? What? No.
Is it over yet?
True quotes. A joy on every conference call.
This may be dying. I hope to keep
There
the
are
battery
some
going.
people who wanted to be here this evening who unfortunately could not. One of them is your alter ego, your twin.
Oh,
The purple
God.
Purple Man.
And we contacted the Purple Man. And go to the next slide.
It's going to start
He
as soon
sent
as
to
I
us.
change. So
What's
it's going
that?
to start as soon as I change it. So finish
Oh,
what
well,
you're saying.
okay. So this is entitled An Affectionate Tribute to the Inimitable R. A multimedia tribute with decidedly Balkonian production values. To Ron from Bruno Browning.
Oh, no.